And are you refreshed?
Yes.
Good. You're ready to continue?
Yes.
From your own experience, what does a relationship most feel like?
Fun. I'm the best I am when I'm in a relationship.
So, can you feel from what we've been talking about the laws of the universe, that if there's something that you want and it hasn't manifested yet in your experience, that you must be offering a vibration that is in opposition to it?
Yes.
Logical. We know you know that. So from that point of view, what does the absence of a relationship feel like?
Crap.
But that's a descriptive but general word. But what is it about not having a relationship? What does that feel like?
Like you don't belong.
All right, so sort of a fish out of water. Everybody goes home with somebody, and so describe that a little bit. Find emotional terms to describe that.
Noah's Ark, like something's wrong with you. Why can't I find it, but and other people can?
But you see, you're going further into the question than we're really wanting you to right now. We
Okay.
just want you to find the vibrational essence of the feeling of the absence of this thing that you want.
Okay.
So it feels like lonely. It feels like incompletion. It feels like no one to back you up. It
Yeah.
feels like no one specifically assigned to be on your side.
Exactly.
It feels like sort of emptiness. It feels like incompletion. Feels like wrongdoing.
And also feels like out of control. Like it's not in my control. It's like destiny. You know, these stories were taught as a child. These stupid, the beshert, if you're Jewish, story.
Well,
like, where's my soulmate? Where's my other half?
Well, let's stop there just for a minute, because we know that you've gone further into your understanding of law of attraction than that. So we know you don't really believe that.
I don't believe there's one person. I believe there's more than one person.
But what we mean is, you know that you create your own reality. And so don't you think that as far as that goes with you, it's more of a question of why am I not doing a better job of creating something I want, rather than who's preventing me from it?
Yeah, probably. Or is it that there's not a good match for me? Because I meet guys, I date them.
But that's completely illogical. If anything that we've been saying is true, and surely some of it must be,
Obviously.
then the creation of your vortex means that what you want is vibrationally already there. So how are you going to turn those vibrations to the things that you want? Now let's just stop here for just a moment, because you're doing a really good job of explaining to a lot of people why things aren't going better for them on some subjects too. Because there's a tendency, and we get why, to be standing in a place other than where you want to be, and then sort of drum up old stories or beliefs that sort of support that. That's what you were just doing just now, even though those stories that you were drumming up don't have anything to do with what you really believe. You do believe that you've created a vortex and that your vortex can come to you. We know you do. And we know that you do not believe in some destiny that is forsaking you of something you want. Even though you just said it just now, sort of like you kind of believe it, we know you don't believe that. We know for sure that what you believe is that you've created something, that it's in the vortex and you just can't figure out how to get it out. We know that you believe that. And yet nobody wants to say, hey, I'm doing a bad job of not letting what I want out of the vortex. I'm doing a bad job of not lining up with it. And yet that's what's happening. You're doing a bad job of not lining up with what you want. And you know why? Because all day, every day, you're focused upon. Usually when someone really wants something, and we can feel the power of your desire, when someone really wants something and it isn't unfolding to them easily, our encouragement to them is get off the subject. But you can't.
That's the problem.
You can't get off the subject, and so you can't give yourself any relief from the thoughts that you keep thinking that are in direct opposition to what you want. And so you are going to have a little harder job than almost anybody else, because you can't take your thoughts off the subject and put them on another subject that's working all the time. You could some of the time, In other words, you could focus upon prosperity and feel the feeling place of that and recognize how that all came about. There are things that you could focus upon. So let's just accept that you are, let us be clear about this for all of you. So if there's something that you really want that you don't believe, your issue, so to speak, and you visit with us about it, we always try to get you to deactivate the issue by activating something else. Because when you deactivate the issue, which is just the contradictory thoughts, then the vortex on the subject becomes dominant and things start unfolding for you. We've said if you have 5 subjects and 4 of them are not working and 1 of them is, focus upon the one that is working, create a vibration of receptive mode that lets the other 4 work. Or we've said if you've got 5 things that matter to you and 4 of them are really working well and 1 of them isn't, focus on any one of the 4 that is working well and the other one will too. So that's been our encouragement. But you are one of the extreme exceptions to that encouragement, because you can't not think about this subject a great deal, because it is something that is another really big part of your life experience. So you have to be someone who is able to focus yourselves upon your desire. You can't get off the subject, so you've got to clarify this desire. You can't get off the subject, so you have to accept it like it really is. And we believe that we've come a long way already by not letting you scapegoat by saying, well, maybe it's this ridiculous thing, or maybe it's this ridiculous thing. It's not about any of those ridiculous things. It's about something really simple. You've got a desire that you spend more airtime focusing upon its opposite, which was the entire first words that we spoke to all of you today. That's what everybody's doing about everything that they want that isn't coming about. So you're not unique in that way. So here's some strong statements that we want to make. If your desire is strong enough, it doesn't matter what you believe, your desire will triumph. How about that? How about that?
That was the best thing I've ever heard.
Now let's break that down and explain why. If your desire is strong enough, that means it's gestated in the vortex. You're feeling it enough that the essence of who you are is about it more than about the beliefs that would be contradicting it. Because beliefs, unless they're activated, are dormant. So that takes us back to what you do for a living. You keep focusing upon beliefs and activating them. So you've got to make those activations about somebody else. Now this is going to be easy for you, because you said something very powerful to us. You said, I help so many people find their true love and I cannot find mine. Well, do you know why it's easier to help them? You don't have beliefs about them. So you haven't practiced resistance about them. So when you focus upon them, your desire's pure about them. So you have to find a way to put yourself in the place of one of them. Could you be one of your own clients?
Sure.
Just in your own mind. So if you were one of your own clients, how would you present yourself? What is it that you would like a prospective match to know about you, the true you?
I'm the most loving person that I know. I'm giving and loving and joyous, and I'm nothing like I am on TV, that's for sure. Nothing. Which is a preconceived notion a lot of men have. I'm completely the opposite. I'm very beta, not alpha.
Well, forgetting what anyone else might think from anything that they've seen, let's just go back to this about, tell us again who you are.
I'm loving,
all right,
kind, generous.
So are you independent?
Independent, passionate.
Before you go further, so you're independent. So you really believe that you are independent?
Like an independent woman that takes care of herself? Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So independent, and yet the things that we ask you about what feels like are missing, it's like you sort of want somebody to stick up for you. And when we said that, you said you felt that so powerfully. So what we want to know is, can you feel the clash between these things of, I'm independent, but I want someone to lean on? Can you feel the resistance in that? So which is it? Let's choose one.
I have the other one. I don't want to be independent anymore. I don't want want to be independent.
Well, you see, you've just come exactly to the sticking point, because you were born independent in the sense that you are coming into alignment with the energies of the universe. You're coming into alignment with a source within you. You're coming into alignment with your desires. In other words, you're not independent from power, and you're not independent from clarity, and you're not independent from source. You're not independent from that partnership. You just want that partnership to be the greatest partnership. Otherwise, every relationship that you have will break down in the process, because that is so dominant. That is who you are. That is who you all are. So when you say, I don't want to be independent anymore, I want to lean on someone, that is the biggest falsehood that you have ever tried to offer to the universe at large, because everything about you is knowing something that is different from that. So feel what's going on. You're actually saying, in the matching world, I want to love you, I want you to love me, which of course everyone wants. I want our relationship to be dominant above all things, and I want to be able to lean on you when I need to. Where what you're saying from your harmonics with your inner being is, I am already engaged with the power of the universe. This is my first and foremost and most important relationship, not this. And in my alignment and in my strength, then I will have plenty to give, and there can be a reciprocal flow back and forth, but there's no need in me. And that is the big contradiction in your vibration right there.
The neediness. Mm-hmm.
And so let's talk about that just a little bit, because a need to be understood.
Mm-hmm.
And yet, have you noticed? You said something to us so important. You said, I'm not like I am on the show.
Mm-mm.
So the millions of people who are watching do not know who I am.
Mm-hmm.
I am vastly misunderstood. And that's sort of sticking in your vibrational craw a little bit. You feel like you need to explain yourself. And yet we want to tell you, there are not enough words in the world. If they decided to do a show completely about who you really are, no one would watch it, because alignment is so boring.
I know, be boring. Be really boring. I know that.
And so rather than needing the world to understand you, or a person to understand you, or anybody to understand you, all you have to come to know is how understood you really are. And we really want you to hear this. You are so understood by your source energy, by your inner being, and what's in your vortex and what you want is so understood that you're not going to get some relationship that is less than what is understood. You have to come into vibrational alignment with what is understood about you.